We live in an era of performative connection, where your worth is measured by how quickly you acknowledge a virtual milestone. Every birthday, every anniversary, every minor professional triumph is heralded by a notification that screams for your immediate, enthusiastic participation. We have been conditioned to believe that ignoring these alerts is a lapse in memory or a sign of apathy. We apologize, we scramble to post a belated message, we craft the perfect emoji-laden sentiment just to avoid the awkwardness of silence. But let's be honest for once, you didn't forget. Your brain is perfectly capable of remembering dates and deadlines. You simply chose, in a quiet moment of clarity, to flip the switch and kill the notification. You didn't forget the person, you chose to skip the script. You hit that mute button not because you are cruel, but because you are exhausted by the hollow theater of digital social obligation. We are forced into a cycle of automated kindness, where if you don't participate, you are labeled as distant. But isn't there something profoundly dishonest about feeling pressured to offer congratulations you don't truly feel? You see the alert pop up on your screen, a ping that demands a reaction, and you stare at it, feeling the weight of the performative burden. The thumb hovers over the screen, ready to tap out a generic happy birthday, or a congratulations on your success. And then you stop. You lock the phone. You walk away. It is an act of rebellion. The illusion here is that social media has brought us closer together. In reality, it has merely created a vast, noisy lobby where everyone is expected to applaud whenever someone else enters the room. We have gamified human relationships. If you comment, you gain points in the friendship tally. If you like a post, you solidify your place in the social hierarchy. It is a transactional existence masquerading as genuine affection. When you disable those notifications, you are effectively opting out of a pyramid scheme of validation. Most of the people you feel compelled to acknowledge on their birthdays are individuals you haven't spoken to in months, perhaps years. You know nothing of their daily struggles, their real joys, or their current state of mind. Yet, you are socialized to act as if their existence remains a central pillar of your own. This is the great lie we tell ourselves, that keeping up these digital rituals somehow preserves the bond. It doesn't. It merely fills the void with digital noise. By silencing the notification, you aren't erasing the person, you are reclaiming the right to decide when and where your emotional energy is deployed. You are refusing to be a background extra in a movie that doesn't concern you. Consider the anxiety that bubbles up when you see a notification you haven't cleared. It's not just a reminder, it's a summons. It's a demand from a collective consciousness that says, acknowledge me. This demand is relentless. We treat these pings as urgent, even though they represent the most trivial of social interactions. Think about the last time you received a notification for an acquaintance's birthday. You didn't feel a surge of genuine joy for their aging. You felt a ping of annoyance. You felt the familiar, heavy pressure of the social tax. You had to decide whether to pay it by sending a hollow message or to risk appearing callous. Most of us choose to pay the tax. We spend our lives paying these small, meaningless taxes just to avoid social friction. We are drowning in the effort of appearing like we care, when in reality, we are just maintaining a facade. When you finally disable those alerts, it feels like a weight lifting. It is the sound of silence returning to your headspace. You realize that the world keeps spinning, that the friendships worth keeping are not defined by the speed of a digital reply, and that true intimacy is not found in the ping of a notification, but in the moments you choose to be present without an audience. We are so terrified of being forgotten that we obsessively maintain the appearance of being involved in everyone else's lives. It is a frantic, pathetic scramble to remain relevant in a stream of information that is destined for the digital trash bin by tomorrow morning. By turning off the notifications, you are performing a radical act of self-preservation. You are setting a boundary that says, I will not be dictated by your calendar, your achievements, or your social feed. You are choosing quality over quantity. You are choosing to have 3 real conversations a year rather than 300 hollow interactions. The people who truly matter in your life don't need a notification to remind them you exist, and you certainly don't need a reminder to know they are important. Everything else is just performance art. It is the ego feeding on validation, pretending that we are all deeply interconnected, when in fact, we are mostly just busy, tired, and trying to navigate our own small lives. The discomfort you feel when you ignore the notification is just your brain realizing it no longer has to play the game. You are not forgetting, you're evolving. You are maturing into a version of yourself that no longer needs to signal your virtue through digital participation. You are choosing the peace of being unbothered over the chaos of being connected to everything and everyone all at once. This is the realization that hits when the screen goes dark. The world does not collapse because you stopped applauding. People are not waiting for your specific congratulation to feel validated. They are just as busy, just as performative, and just as exhausted as you are. They are playing their own parts, waiting for their own applause, and they are just as likely to forget your birthday when the day comes. It is a cycle of mutual, silent convenience. When you stop participating, you break the cycle. You stop being a spectator to a life you don't live. You stop caring about the metrics of social interaction. And that is where the real freedom begins. The silence that follows the silencing of notifications is not empty. It is full of your own thoughts, your own priorities, and your own life. It is the sound of you choosing yourself over the digital crowd. Your silence is not a sign of forgetting. It is the choice to stop performing.